Today, we're going to talk about how you create a chore chart using Google
Drive.
As you can see, Michael is in the captain chair here. I'm just on like a folding chair.
Yeah.
But if you saw our other video about what a day in the life of our home looks like, we've got 9 kids. They all participate in chores. If you saw that and wondered how you could now make a chore chart, we're going to show you how to do that today. If you haven't seen that yet, it's pretty fun, and you can go see what this chore chart looks like in action.
So strap on your seatbelt. It's going to be pretty awesome.
It is.
So here's what our chore chart looks like, and it doesn't all fit on one thing here. I basically made 2 files for our chore chart, and I'll explain why that is later. But basically, we break it down by daily, weekly, and then some monthly chores, as well as laundry days. What I did was, we have 5 kids in our family who do chores, and what I did is I basically came up with about 5 chores that they can do every day, so that I can cycle the kids through and make sure that it's fairly equal. In an effort to try to get it a little more equal, I said, okay, we'll have about 5 chores, and then what I do is I say, okay, on Sunday it's Daniel, Elijah, Pearl, Andrew, Esther. And then the next day, you'll notice like Pearl's name moves back 1, and Elijah's kind of moves up. So everyone just sort of shifts 1 notch up.
So obviously, we have 9 kids, and only 5 of them, those of 8 and above, are participating in chores. That doesn't mean that the ones that are less than 8 are not doing chores. They have to make their bed and clean their room, vacuum their room. They're supposed to put their dishes in the dishwasher with each meal and clean up after themselves. We've chosen 8 because we have a lot of kids, and because the older your older kids get, the younger your younger kids get. If you have lots of kids, you know what I mean by that. And so we just chose that number 8 as when they get added to this chart, because some of these jobs do require putting dishes up high, carrying heavy things, and that just works for our family. But that being said, there are other jobs on here that they could do very easily. And so if you only have kids under 8, or and you're confident in that, choose whatever age that you feel comfortable with starting your kids at, and whatever job you feel comfortable they can do. I will add though that kids can do a lot more than we give them credit for, and if we don't give them credit for it, they'll absolutely take on whatever fears we have about them that they can't do it. So require a lot of them. It's good for their self-esteem, and they'll be proud of themselves when they can accomplish things like that.
Right. So that's kind of how we do it to keep it somewhat equal with the kids, is we kind of, every day is different, and again, the names just shift. And so you see how at the very top it says week 1. And even to even make it more equal, because again, you got someone who might complain if they have dishes every Sunday night, and maybe Sunday night tends to be a more difficult dishes night because you have a bigger dinner or something. I have it in addition to cycling this way, I do a 5-week cycle. And again, this might be overkill, so you don't necessarily have to do this for your family.
The older your kids get, the more aware they are of equality and fairness, and so. But we did notice that the person who has Saturday night dishes, which is usually a pretty simple meal for us, that was a lot easier than the person who had Sunday night. Or, sometimes they have church youth activities on Tuesday night, and so it was always a bummer that, so this way it was just, no one could complain. Everybody was going to get Sunday night dishes sometimes.
Yeah. So I have this week 1 here, and then if I'll go to the next tab here, and then I got week 2, and it basically shifts as far as how the week starts. Okay, so week 1 here, Daniel starts as the breakfast dishes, and week 2, Elijah starts, but it's basically in the same order. I've just shifted it a notch. So everybody has a chance to do, every one of these jobs on every cycle. So it might be a little bit overkill, but it seems to work, or be working for us. And really, it's pretty simple. You just, as long as you have that system of it kind of shifting a notch every time you move it, it's not too complicated to go through and do it. So,
Mike, why don't you show them how to now just create a really simple chore chart, let's say if they had 3 kids.
Okay, so we'll just look at kind of ours here. So if you have 3 kids, you can do your daily chores, but just come up with 3 things that they can do every day. And maybe your kids go to public school or regular school, so you can just do 1 dinner dishes and then a clean up upstairs, a clean up downstairs. Google Drive is pretty handy because you can use it anywhere, and our computer just died like last week, and I still have all this stuff, which is nice. So I just create a new Google Sheet here. I do it in Google Sheets. And then from here, it's just like an Excel file. Make your little title of like your chore chart. And then just go through, make another heading for daily chores and and go through and do it. If you know how to use Excel, or if you're willing to even just kind of explore this a little bit, it's pretty simple to go through and make that chart. You'll also notice some of this is in Chinese, and that's because Daniel, who's somewhat new here still, couldn't read this.
Now I think that's important. When we also first started, breakfast dishes means more than just loading the dishwasher, or lunch dishes, dinner dishes. And so we definitely had a period of time where we had to explain what that chore meant. So what breakfast or any dishes means: you're clearing off the table, you're loading the dishwasher, you're wiping down the table, all the countertops are cleared and wiped, and you're sweeping the floors, and you're taking out the trash and recycling. So that actually encompasses a lot more than just dishes. And so if at first and you can even add this at the bottom of your chore chart, what an explanation of each chore means. The more you can get on a piece of paper, the easier it's going to be for you to make your kids do it, because they just believe them's the rules, that it's not you that's making that up. And so they see that it's fixed. You just say, well, this is what is required for that job. Obviously, the later you start this, you might have a little bit more pushback than when you start it younger. But we did not start this official chore chart with our kids until Elijah was 12, right? Maybe even close to 13. So it's, even if you are starting it later, that's just the way it is. And really, they do appreciate now that when they maybe are at homes that aren't as tidy, then they understand now how, in order for that to happen, they all have to play a role in that. So
yeah.
You can hear somebody crying downstairs.
Yeah, someone's crying. It's Eve. All right, so now we're going to look at I think you hopefully have figured out the daily, how that works. Weekly is, again, kind of the same concept. We have got chores here. On this one, I've got, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5 again, pretty much 5 chores that everyone will do. Of course, bedrooms, everyone is responsible for their own bedroom. And then same kind of thing, and on through a 5-week cycle. So everybody, and it'll just, once we get through that 5-week cycle, go back to the first. Everybody gets the chance to do the chores that they need to do. So that's how we do the weekly. Again, 5-week cycle, 5 chores. So at home, depending on how many kids you have, just come up with, 4 chores or 3 chores or 10 chores. I don't know how many kids you have at home, but you can do that. And then every week they take care of that. Try to cover the house as well as you can, though, because with us, it's great to have the house cleaned every once in a while. So I added a couple things here just recently. The kitchen cabinets, baseboards, and appliances. I've noticed that the cabinets, they get kind of gross because food gets splattered and whatnot. And I didn't want to have to worry about cleaning that. Neither did Megan. So we thought, well, I'll just put it on the weekly chart. And then really the most beautiful thing I've ever put on the chore chart is the cars. The fact that the cars get vacuumed and cleaned out every week is awesome. I hated how messy our cars were all the time, and I was always the one that would have to clean it out. But now every week they get cleaned out, and they stay so much cleaner. I love it.
In between, in the afternoon, our home can be a pigsty. There are toys, blocks, papers, shoes. So I don't want to create the illusion that our home is always clean. But it always ends up clean at the end of every day, and that is enough for me. Because if it does at the end of every day, even when it's pretty messy in an afternoon, it's only an afternoon's worth of messiness. So it's not too difficult to clean it up. I think it's when you go long periods of time that it gets really messy. And I will say that at the beginning of being parents, when we had just maybe Elijah and Andrew at home, our home was very messy, and it was overwhelming for me. And it was a sore spot for me, and I was embarrassed about it. So I'm really grateful that we've been able to figure this out, and grateful that Mike really spearheads it and has taught our kids how to clean things, but he's also taught me too. The secret at our house is that Mike is like the Susie homemaker, and he's really awesome at it.
I'm the hairy homemaker.
The hairy homemaker. That's very fitting. I encourage you to do this, and I know it's stressful and it's a little scary at first because you think, I've tried so many things. We tried so many things. We had apps, we had charts, like posters that were fun, we had stickers, we had magnet boards, whiteboards. We've tried so many things, and this, as for some reason, I think because it's so easy to understand and to see and to know. Yeah, I think so. It has really stuck, and
so let's finish up though. You've also got monthly. We've also got a monthly chore here where the second week of every month I have the kids do something a little bit more of a deeper clean, like baseboards, walls, laundry room, garage. That way, you know, we all know that those things get dirty, but they don't get cleaned that often because you don't really think about it, so we do that. And then everybody has a laundry day, or I should say multiple people have a laundry day. So Elijah and Daniel have Monday, you can kind of see this. So that's a good way for us so that our laundry doesn't suddenly get overwhelmed by 5 people who need to get their laundry done. We keep kind of a steady stream. And it is a steady stream. I mean, our laundry, our washing machine is going almost constantly. So it never really ends. But that way it isn't like I got 5 people who have dirty clothes and nothing to wear all at the same time. Well, also sometimes I'll just notice something like, oh, that needs to be cleaned. I want to have a way an avenue to address that without having to go back and change this whole like weekly thing. So I wanted to be able to, you like that? I just wanted a way to, so I feel like something needs to be clean.
Okay.
This is my excuse right here, this monthly thing.
So they know it's coming.
Well, they know it's coming, and they know that they don't really know what it's going to be. So if I decide, oh, the windows are dirty over here or whatever, I can kind of on the fly decide they need to clean something different than usual. Okay, so that's why I have monthly. And I think that's it. It's really pretty, I mean, it's fairly simple once you get it all down. But again, it's worth it. And it's really helped us keep a more clean house. It's never totally clean, but it's more clean. So that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed that explanation on the chore chart, and it will change your life, possibly. Or maybe you already got it all together and your house is clean, and that's great. If not, you should give this a shot. That's it.
All right, so if you have any questions, you can comment in the comments down below, or subscribe to see more videos like this, and to learn more about how we run our household with 11 people and make that work. What do you think, Eve? Can you say bye-bye?
Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.